All right, so I've taken to watching some YouTube personalities, not on fitness, on cryptocurrency. Nevertheless, I realize I've been doing this all wrong. So I need to say, like, hey guys, if you like the content, subscribe, smash the like button, helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks so much, really appreciate it. Now then, let's talk about hormones and weight loss. So for a while now, I've been trying to hammer home like calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, just eat less, just eat less, just eat less. And what's hilarious is that a host of people are now like, you're wrong. It's all about hormones and calories don't matter. Let me remind you that I wrote that book. It's called Master Your Metabolism. And I wrote it with a board certified endocrinologist. I wrote it well over a decade ago, and it was a massive New York Times bestseller. And it was all about hormones, right? And how it affects your weight and your overall health and well-being. And yet, for some reason, that hasn't been the point that I have continued to drive home. And here's why. Because at the end of the day, it can become pretty intimidating when someone's talking about insulin and ghrelin and leptin and cortisol. And I am concerned that it makes people feel defeated. It makes them feel like, oh, my hormones are messed up, so there's just nothing I can do about this, which just isn't the case, right? And then it's also, it's not a chicken and an egg conversation. What do you think's messing up your hormones? I mean, I wrote the book about what's screwing up your hormones. Remove, restore, rebalance. That was the book. What do you remove to help stop screwing up your hormones? What do you restore, right? What do you put back in to help stabilize and bring your hormones, your biochemistry back into balance, and hence rebalance? Like, what lifestyle activities should you be engaging in, from sleep to fitness? And at the end of the day, you guys, unless you've become very, very unhealthy through eating a large amount of really bad for you foods and being sedentary, you really shouldn't be screwing up things like your thyroid or developing insulin resistance or leptin resistance, right? These things don't just happen in large part. It's sure you can have a genetic predisposition, but remember, our genes are dynamic. How they express themselves is dynamic. So the way we live is going to affect how our genetics express themselves. I'm prone to having hypothyroidism. I had PCOS as a kid. And I say as a kid because I don't struggle with it anymore, because I manage it with exercise, not overeating, and using common sense with my food choices. I also don't take thyroid medication because I manage it with exercise, sleep, not overeating, some supplementation, and common sense with my food choices. So ultimately, calories in, calories out does matter. And I've said repeatedly, like, if you're hitting a wall with it, if you're like, I'm doing it and it's just not working, then I have said, look, if you are watching how much you're eating, no matter how healthy the food, right? Whether it's an avocado or a handful of walnuts, like, there are foods that just have more calories. Calories are units of energy. We can gain weight from eating good, healthy food if it's calorie dense. Just like a bear that goes into hibernation, they're eating berries, nuts, seeds, wild salmon. They put on enough weight to sleep for a winter without eating. That stuff still has calories. So with that said, if you're watching how much you eat and you're using common sense with your food choices, right? You're not just eating processed grains and refined sugars and foods that are filled with chemicals, like red number 40 and blue number whatever and yellow number 5. And you're not getting all the pesticides and the fungicides and the herbicides on your fruits and vegetables, and you're not getting a ton of hormones and antibiotics in your meat and your dairy. That's gonna help, and you're gonna move your body, let's say, oh God, I would love 5 times a week for 30 minutes, but 3 times a week for 20 minutes, absolute minimum. I mean, really, we do need more, especially if you're trying to reverse things like insulin resistance, because what's the best way to resensitize our body to insulin? Exercise, right? What's one of the best ways to help manage hunger hormones and stress hormones and boost HGH levels, which is a fat-burning, muscle-maintaining hormone, is sleeping. So part of this is that If I tell you, oh, it's all your biochemistry, then you're like, oh, see, I'm screwed. That's what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. It's my hormones. I'm just effed. That's not true. If you eat less and you make the better food choice 80% of the time, right? And you remove chemicals and crap the majority of the time. And that means if you're going to go with dairy, go organic. If you're going to eat red meat, go grass-fed, grass-finished, organic. If you're going to eat fruits and vegetables and you cannot afford organic, go with the thick-skinned. Look up the Clean 15 on the internet, and it will tell you the best choices for fruits and vegetables that are not organic, right? And look up the Dirty Dozen. You want to avoid those if you cannot afford organic. But if you follow those common sense practices, it will help bring your hormones back into alignment. But if you're off, there might come a time where you need to see an endocrinologist. And you might need something like metformin or a T3, T4 combination to help your thyroid function better. That's okay. But when we turn around and we say, no, calories has nothing to do with it, it's just not true. It just isn't the truth. And if you look through the comments, I think this will serve, this is the best evidence of what I'm talking about. If all the work that I've done over the past, I don't know how many years now, has not evidenced that eating less and moving more and using common sense with your food choices work. I mean, you've seen me do it for years on television. If you're like, well, that doesn't work. Oh, they gained the weight back. They didn't gain the weight back because eating clean and eating less and moving more doesn't work. That's how they lost the weight. They gained the weight back because of deeper psychological issues that made them stop moving and begin eating more again. And there's no shame in that. That's a different conversation. I've done videos on it. Where was I? Okay. Bottom line, look in the comments on some of these videos. Look in the comments on YouTube. Look in the comments on Instagram, and you're going to see people are like, oh, I started watching your videos, and all of a sudden the weight just came off. Right? It's not brain surgery. I mean, I'd love to be like, oh, man, you need this, is you need my book, and you need this, and you need my that. Like, eat less food. Move more. Move as often as you can, but a minimum of 3 times a week, all right? I didn't mess it up too bad. For 20, God willing, 30, and I would really love 5 half-hours a week minutes. Common sense with your food choices. Avoid chemicals as often as possible. Get your sleep, drink your water, and you'll start to bring your hormones and your biochemistry back into balance. And if there's something else going on, you're on a medication or you have some sort of health condition, thyroid cancer, whatever it might be, where you need, your hormones are in fact screwed up and you need medical intervention, you go see a board-certified endocrinologist, and with their help, and they might prescribe something, a little bit of something, that's okay, while eating less and moving more and eating clean, you're gonna get results. So for all you guys who, come and talk smack to me about hormones, I wrote the book, bitch. I wrote it over 10 years ago. I wrote it way before you even knew the H word. So beat it. That's it, I'm done. I had to. I couldn't help it. I had to do it. Okay, team, don't forget, I created this channel just for you guys. So click like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear more about. If it's diet, fitness, wellness, mindfulness, I'm here for you. So give me your feedback.